Okay, we're live. Welcome. I'm Kate Lynch. This is Laura Robinson of the Comfy Business Playbook fame. I love this book, yay. And I've been, I don't know, supported, mentored by Laura for a couple years now. I don't know exactly, but I absolutely, like, I don't think I would still be in business at all if it wasn't for your mindset, Laura, the squishing your business in around the life that you have. So yeah, tell me about your background. I mean,
Oh, so
that background and whatever
this
you want.
background or my actual background?
Yeah,
My
whichever.
my background to having a business is not, it's not a glorious one. It's not like I had an idea for a business and I bravely set out on my own. I had a corporate career. I left university, got into a corporate graduate management program, did quite well with that. Was told that it was unlikely that I'd be able to have children, so I thought I'd better crack on with that. Fell pregnant immediately, so turned out that it was not going to be that hard for me. And then had a second baby really quickly after the first one, and our second son was in and out of hospital a lot from birth. He's fine now. He has additional needs, so he needs additional support. And so it just was not compatible with having a job. So I dropped out of my job. It was not pretty. I was so broken. I couldn't even speak. I just took a note to the doctors and they signed me off sick, and then I quit my job. But
Mm.
we had a shortfall of about £600 a month between my husband's salary and our absolute fixed bills. Like, there was nothing we could do to make our outgoings any better. So I knew I was going to have to figure out how to make money online. And that's basically how I ended up being a copywriter. Like, I took what I had from my job and I figured out all the freelance gigs that I could possibly do based on the skill set that I had. And I started taking freelance copywriting work. That was 15 years ago. And then I set up my own copywriting business. And I still now, that's the bulk of what I do is copywriting, but teaching other business owners how to do their own online marketing and write their own sales copy.
Just 1 second. Peanut, stop. Stop it. Hey, quiet. Hey, come here. He he either is totally fine and asleep or he does this. So I'm so sorry.
My voice.
Um, Puppies. So can we go back to the part where your second son, because this is Atypical Kids, Mindful Parents, and my audience is either neurodivergent parents or parents of neurodivergent kids, pretty much primarily. Um, and I know a lot of us are entrepreneurs and can't like make working full time and caring for our kids work because it's um they just make it impossible. There are so many hoops to jump through and not enough support. So, can you go back to that moment and just describe that in as much detail as you're willing?
I honestly, I don't really have a lot to describe. There's just
Mm,
no way I could carry on having a job. We'd had, because it wasn't just the kids, but I'd had a bereavement. My mum had been very seriously
mm.
ill at the same time. I had had appendicitis. I had two cesareans, appendicitis, and pleurisy in the space of about 3 years. So I was like as broken as I could possibly be. So, like, in a way, it kind of made it easy because I was just, there's no way we can keep doing this. And so I took
Yeah.
a year off of work. I gave myself a year of, I'm just going to be at home with the kids for a year and physically try and recover and mentally recover from what we've been through, and then use that time to try and figure out how could I make some money. And my initial goal was I wanted to be able to make enough money freelance so that when they were both in primary school, I could legitimately say, like, I'm not going back to work for a job. It's not worth my while. I'll stay home because I make enough money freelance that I don't need to go and get a job. That was the original goal. And once they got to primary school, there was no way I could have had a job anywhere. Like, the thought now that once they're in, I would get like through the front door before the Senko would ring me and go, Mrs. Cocker, which is my married name, we need you back at the school. I'm like, yeah, I'm on my way
So
back. 'Cause both of them,
Senko, can
oh,
you
special
translate?
special educational needs coordinator for the school, and both my kids were on the same co-register. So I was in and out for appointments for both of them. And then they would have their own medical appointments, and they would have their own like mental health appointments and assess. Like it just never stopped. So the thought that I would even have a job under those circumstances was just ridiculous. Still, I told myself though, when they go to secondary school, I need to be making enough money so that it's not worth my while to get a job then, as if I was going to be able to do it. And basically, it fell apart so spectacularly by the time they reached like the age 10 and 12 that we left the school system completely and I home educated them. So then I definitely wasn't getting a job. I definitely needed to stay having my own business.
Relatable.
Yeah.
Relatable to so many
I
parents.
have got a whole chapter in my Comfy Business Playbook. There's a whole chapter dedicated to when thenning, where I just relentlessly told myself, when this gets better, then I'll be able to have more hours to work, or when this happens, then I'll make more money. And it probably took me 10 years of living like that, of like, when this happens, then this, and realizing like that is it's not going to happen. Like this is it. This is, and they're 18 and 20 now, and I can tell you, it's literally not any less chaotic than it was 10 years ago. It's like still exactly the same.
So doesn't
Yeah, I'm not
waiting
gonna
for
wait
it to
for yeah.
get
No,
easier doesn't.
it's not gonna get easier. No.
So you did find a way to squish your business in around your life. And it
Yeah,
wasn't just that, it's also your own health challenges, right? And your own neurodiversity.
yeah, I don't have a neurodivergent diagnosis.
Hmm.
I have a neurological condition, chronic neurological condition, and a chronic vascular condition. The neurological condition, they both come with pain, but the neurological condition comes with all of the things that you would get with ADHD anyway, like executive dysfunction. I get massive mood swings with it. Um, like just everything that you can imagine, like your brain just plays tricks on me constantly. So I've ummed and ahed so many times about whether trying to pursue a diagnosis is worth it. And in the end, I kind of decided it'll be so hard to unpick which thing
Yeah,
is
there's
causing
no
what. It's
point.
like there's
But
just no
you
point.
are
Yeah, and then like at
neurodivergent.
the end,
I
like
mean,
what? Yeah,
a neurological condition
it's
puts
like
you in the category of
it's
neurodivergent.
there. Yeah, I mean, it definitely my brain definitely does not like play nicely day by day. I had this conversation with my husband the other day because we planned to do something and I woke up in the morning, I was like, no, I don't want to do it. And he's like, but you really wanted to do it yesterday. And I was like, yeah, that was yesterday, Laura. I am a different person today. And it just dawned on me. I was like, you are the same person every day. Like you wake up every day in the same body with the same brain, pretty much the same consistent mood, wanting the same things. How boring must that be? Because I wake up every day and have to do like a quick body scan of, okay, where are we? Like, how do we feel today in our body? What's my brain saying? What mean thoughts is it saying to me? What's my energy levels like? And like play each day, like literally as it comes with no, I can't really set, I can try and set some plans the day before, but I'm probably not going to stick to them.
Speaking of which, how are you feeling right now?
I mean, I like, if I'm in it, I'm okay. And then I might suddenly just go like, goodbye, and I'm gone.
Mhm.
And it's best to not ask questions as to why.
I can't help it. That's my thing. And what do you need from me?
No, I just need to know you'd hold the fort without me. You'd be fine. You'd just carry on talking about how you've adapted your business to your life, and
I have.
that's what people want to hear about anyway.
Right. With your help, I really have. And it's helped so much to just have someone who can kind of, because I'm so isolated and I'm doing all this stuff on my own, and sometimes I just want to show someone, like, how does this sales page look? Like, is there anything that's glaringly like obnoxious or not really making sense? And because I'm in this, do you call it a membership? I don't remember what you call it.
Yeah, I tried really
Annual
hard not
pass.
for it not to be a membership, but then I added in a
Mhm.
bunch of support that I offer, so now it's a membership.
But it's an annual pass to
Yeah.
all of your courses, and then you do offer some support. So that support, as well as the courses, it's all been really helpful to me. But I love having your eyes on it because you understand where I'm coming from. That's how I feel. Like you get it. You get us, you get parents like me, and um you're not going to be pressuring me to make 10K a month or whatever because that's not really the criteria.
Yeah, I think I have to approach, like, because I have to do this for myself, then it's easy to do it for
Mhm.
other people. For me, the marketing that I do in my business, like any sales activity, marketing activity, anything I do in my business really has to be something that builds me up and makes me feel better. It can't be a drain on me. So I think there's plenty of people who have a business and they have a goal for their business and they're willing to like super invest their energy and their time, and they will deplete themselves because it's worthwhile because it's got this payoff at the end. And that's kind of the, I think, the expectation of what it's like to have a job or have a business. Like you're
Mhm.
putting something of yourself into it because you're going to get this outcome at the end. And I was like, well, I can't do that because there's like all these other things going on that's taking out everything I've got. Like I can't, that's not going to work for me. So the way that I run my business, so like every service that I offer and deliver, like every product, all the way I do my marketing, the way I do my selling, all of that is structured so that I feel really good doing it. And it kind of raises me up, it builds me up, it doesn't run me down. And I think naturally, I just carried that through to how I teach other people. And that's often like when I have my coaching chats with people, with my clients, you know, often the first question I'm going to ask them when they're saying like, should I do this or this, or I feel like I should do this, but I really want to do this thing, just talking them through like what feels comfortable, what feels easy, what feels exciting, what lights you up. I can hear it in their tone of voice when they're talking to me, whether something feels heavy and like they're pushing through because it's a should do versus something they really want to do.
Mhm.
And you know, we run our own business, so we get to choose. So we might as well choose the thing that we enjoy doing, and then that's where the momentum is. Like if you can find that groove where you're doing the things that you love to do, and it makes you money. I don't mean like just the delivery of the service, but the way that you sell that, the you know, the whether you show up on Substack or Instagram or you know, however you want to market your business, if you do it in a way that feels good to you, you just build that momentum and you can have a successful business, even though on paper you're looking at like, I've got like 10 hours a week to work on this. How is this even going to be possible? Because those 10 hours are filled with things that you love doing and you're bringing the right
Mhm.
energy to it. It is possible.
And it's sustainable, like, for a longer term.
Yeah.
Like, I've been on here all I don't know, over 3 years, almost 4, and it just feels like a joy. I mean, I wouldn't call it a business yet, but it's a hobby that I absolutely love. So, Laura, I what can we I mean, I wanna relate this to business, but I also wanna think about, like, your time with your kids and the home education and their differences and how it all kind of ties together in a way that feels joyful for you. So do you have, like, a memory, a parenting memory that brings you joy that you could
I
share?
mean, I love the, like, the really silly everyday stuff. Like, we don't do big we have done one big holiday. So I'm not gonna say, like, we never do a big we have done one big holiday, and we've had one crazy adventure where we had a lot of building work on our house, and we had to go move in with my parents. So that's about, like, the big changes in our life. But most of my happy memories are just from the really boring, tiny, everyday things. Like, when they were really probably the best one, like, that I think captures the way that we do things in our family. When they were really little, like, I don't know, 2 and 4 years old. In the summer, the thing that brought them the most joy was running out in the back garden, and we had a garden tap. So they would run the garden tap, and then there was a vent, like, I'm gonna say it's like, if this is probably not great for the environment, but, you know, hear me out. I'd turn the tumble dryer on, it would vent out the like, there's a vent at the back of the house. So they would run their hands onto the tap, and then they would feel the vent dry their skin. They were like, "This is amazing," and we could get so, like, so much joy out of that, and I think, well, I mean, I could be driving you to the zoo or a theme park and spending, like, 100, £200 for a day out, or we can play the tap and the tumble dryer game for a little while.
Love
So
that.
I got away with lots of things, like, it just made life so easy and laid back because they wanted to do the same things over and over again, and, you know, I could be like, "What's the harm in it? You might as well just do it."
Right. I love that. And I'm sure there's an application to business there, like, what's the harm in just doing the same thing and, like,
Like, just do the fun thing. Like, if it's bringing you joy, it doesn't have to be this momentous thing that you can take photographs of and store in an album. It can just be something really small and fun. I mean, from I don't probably from that age, we would go to this we live by the beach, so we would go to the beach, I mean, 3, 4 times a week for
Right.
8 to 10 weeks over the summer. It doesn't cost us anything. It's the same routine of like chuck the towels in the car, drive down. They would get wet. They would get in the car like soaking wet, come home straight in the shower. It's probably not how other people would do it. Like they would have a more structured summer with varied activities, and they probably wouldn't let their kids traipse like seaweed and sand all through the house. But it worked for us, and they still really enjoy it.
That's awesome. I love that. Um, so what, and I think there's something in there that can inspire other parents. But if you were thinking about other parents like you with kids um, who are neurodivergent, who have disabilities, who need extra support, um, what would you want them to know?
I tell people this all the time because I'm, in the local community, I'm kind of well known as the one with those kids. And they're adults now, so people will come and ask me, do not wait for somebody else to tell you a diagnosis, a label, or instructions on how you should do things. If you can figure out a way to do it that makes you happy, just like that, that works for your family, just do it that way. For example, uh, my two could not tolerate eating breakfast in front of each other. So for a while we sat and they would have the table, they'd sit at the table and we'd have the TV on. They never had to eat in silence. They always had the telly on because it was a distraction. And then when they were old enough, I just let them have breakfast in their rooms. They had breakfast in bed every day. They still do. Because I don't care. Like, as long as the
Right.
bowl comes down the stairs eventually and I don't have to keep cleaning out of the bedroom, I understand that it's annoying to hear somebody else chew and very distracting. And in the morning, you want to have like your calmest, most easiest start. That's just like one example where we've gone like, forget it, just we're going to do it our way. At Christmas, I used to let my eldest, and he still does do this, he gets to see his presents early December. Then they go away again. But the anxiety of like, is it the right thing? I don't like surprise. I was like, forget it. Like, this is not fun. We had a whole conversation where he said, why do we do it this way at Christmas? He was like 7 years old. And I explained like it's fun for people to have surprises. They're excited to see what they get. He's like, I'm not excited. I'm miserable. I'm anxious. I'm like, let's not do it that way then. Like, let's just do it our own way. There's definitely not a book that says if your kid's autistic, this is the way to do Christmas. We just invented it ourselves because the old way did not seem to be working for us.
I mean, that really wraps it up, right? Why do we do it this way?
That they
And
never stop.
being willing.
Since he was 2, that question constantly, "But why? Why?" It's like, "Why are you humans doing it this way?" I'm like, "Oh my God, everything. Okay, let me explain why the humans do it this way, and then we'll just do it a different way."
I love that. But I mean, it applies to so much in life. Like to be willing to ask that question and go a different way is so liberating.
Yeah, and I mean, it definitely works for business. I mean, how many times do you hear, "I should be on Instagram 5 times a week?" I'm like, "Why?"
Why?
Like, "Why?" "Well, because so and so said that this." I'm like, "Okay, well, so and so doesn't run your business or run your life or like the." Yeah, there's no absolute ways that you should do things. So it's interesting to hear how you should do it and then say, okay, why? What would that give me? Is there a different way of doing that that feels better to me or would be more effective or work better with my life? That's basically like me for the last 15 years, is like stress testing every theory of how you should do business and going, but why are we doing it this way? And then I'll have to figure out a way to do it that's going to work for me.
Yeah. And it has given me permission to do the same. So I really appreciate you, Laura. And I want to honor your time. So I'm wondering if there's anything you would like to say to wrap up or anywhere that people can connect with you that you'd like to say right now. I will, of course, put links
If they come over
in.
to my over to the website, you'll be better at finding the link for me. I think there's one even that says worditude.co.uk/podcast. So that if you found me on like a podcast or a live or something, you can land on that page. But even if you just go to the homepage and you can click on like solutions, which is all the things I sell, you can get the ebook version of that book, the Comfy Business Playbook, for free. I just give it because I want as many people as possible to know you can just have a business that makes you happy. It doesn't have to make you 6 figures. So I just give away the ebook version of that. So that's probably the best place to get started. And then my newsletter is called the Comfy Business Newsletter, and it is in your inbox 3 times a week, basically just relentlessly saying it's fine to do it your way. Like, it's a perfectly valid business model to just suit yourself. And I just find all different ways of saying that, but that's basically all I put in my newsletters.
Totally. And it really works for my brain. And always really appreciate it. So thank you, Laura. I'm a huge fan, and
You.
I want to honor um your brain and your needs and end this within a reasonable time. So thanks so much, Laura.
Thank you. Thank you very much for having me on.